Hello and greetings from Peru. We wanted to just let you know a Raber family update, just a short message and tell you how our ministry and how our family is doing. First of all, we want to thank you for your continued prayer support, for your continued financial support, because without it we couldn't be here, and we just want to thank you and tell you how much we appreciate each and every one of you. As far as our family, Hannah is in the 8th grade this year. She's working at Promesa and also doing homeschooling with English and math. Katie is in the 5th grade at Promesa. She is enjoying school, enjoying working with her friends, learning more Spanish. She also is doing English, homeschooling as well. Danica is in the 5-year-old class this year at Promesa, and she has just recently started a ballet class, which she really enjoys. And then Adeline, the baby, is already a year old. She turned 1 in February, and she is definitely keeping us on our toes. So we're all doing well. Chris and I have been keeping busy with our ministries, and he's going to just tell us a little bit about that.
Ministry-wise, for myself, the number one thing that I've been working with is the churches in the mountains, or in the Campo. As many of you know, there are 3 local churches here close by, kind of in the city, if you will, or within a half an hour, and about a dozen or more churches and small groups starting up out in the mountains all the time. Just got back from a trip last weekend, and that's where my heart is. I love working out there, supporting those pastors, preaching, teaching. Love it. A very brutal trip to get out there, as many of you know and have seen from Facebook, but that's the number one thing. I just love that. A second ministry that I'm the pastor of they call them jóvenes here, young adults, youth, and more college-age students than what we'd have in the United States. That has been going well too, just really working hard to equip, train up, be always looking for the next young leader, the next person to church plant, be a pastor, anything like that. Also some health ministries that we've been involved in. We've had a medical team down here before. As many of you know, Rose and I are both, our former jobs are in the medical field, her with nursing, myself with physical therapy. That's another aspect that we work with quite a bit. She's going to share a little bit more about the church's health organization now.
So ProSeam has been the program that I've worked with for the past years while I've been here, and we are very thankful that you guys have helped come alongside us and supported this, and we thank you for your financial support. We were so blessed to be able to continue this program this year. We started just last month with our monthly meetings, and it's our preventative health program, and it has been going well. We're also very thankful to announce that we were able to raise the $750 for the gardening program, and so Gloria is excited about being able to take plants out to Chuyuyo and possibly even start some chickens, being able to help the people raise chickens so that they can also feed their families better and more nutritionally and more balanced nutrition. So we're very thankful for that opportunity.
Our term, this is going to be a surprise. It's kind of a surprise for us. It's like, wow, time has flown. Our 4-year term officially ends, I believe, August 24th of this year, late August of this year. We are planning, as of this time, to stay here in Cusco a little longer, until extending our term for a while until early April of next year. There is currently another family, missionary family, through Eastern Mennonite Missions in Arequipa, a city here in Peru, learning Spanish. And we feel like we would like to stay to help them with transition. We are the only family here with EMM now. And so just help this new family with transition. We had been thinking earlier possibly about doing another full term here. We are not planning on that at this time. The one thing, the main focus or thing with that is, the churches here, EMM has had a presence here about 30 years, 25, 30 years, and the churches are doing pretty well. And really, we feel ready for their independence and ready to move out. Maybe time for them to start sending missionaries, maybe out to the mountains, Campo, things like that. So that is the one, nothing bad at all. It's actually a good thing. But that is the reason that we are really not planning on staying. We're planning on extending our time, but not very long. That was the number one reason. Something has superseded that here recently, within the past year or so, that Rose is going to share a little bit about now.
So many of you know that whenever we were back in the States and after the birth of Adeline, I had bilateral blood clots in both my lungs. So I did the blood thinning therapy that they recommended for 6 months, and then they recommended that I get tested to see if I had any blood clotting disorders that could have caused this, besides just the pregnancy and travel and things. And so I did do the blood testing, and we did find out that I do have a blood clotting disorder. It's called protein S deficiency. And for this reason, along with other factors, we have just decided that it's probably not a good idea to continue staying in the altitude for longer term, just because there is an increased risk of blood clots just for the average person because of the altitude. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason that we are planning to head back to the States and at some point here in the near future. And this brings up the next question. What does our future hold? What are our plans for the next step?
The next step, as far as we feel at this time, that we definitely want to be, for our girls, it's probably best for us to be in the United States. It's an exciting, a lot of times the future can be daunting. We're kind of excited about what God has, you know. From a pastoral standpoint, my biggest problem was solved on the cross 2,000 years ago. The rest of this is just details until we get to our real home in heaven, amen? And so we're kind of excited. We've got about 3 options, 3 different things going on. Rose is going to start sharing the first one, and I'll continue with the next ones.
So first of all, when we've been thinking and praying about what next, one thing that has really resonated with both Chris and I is the fact that we have spent a lot of time and energy and effort in language learning. And by God's grace, we feel like our Spanish has improved, and we really want to use that in our next step of ministry. So one opportunity that we've had, we talked with Rosedale Mennonite Missions, which is part of our conference and what would be the mission organization that would be sending missions from our conference. And they told us one opportunity is still Spain, which is something that we had talked about beforehand, before we came to Peru. But at this point, we still feel like Spain is probably not our next step, but we would covet your prayers and appreciate if you would pray with us about these opportunities. And Chris is going to share what the other 2 opportunities are.
The other 2, which are very close, I guess you'd put it on our radar screen, very, very close, is church planning. As Rose shared, we don't think God sent us back to university or college at 40 years old to learn Spanish, and our context here is we work with no one that speaks English, no one in the churches. It's all in Spanish, which has really improved our Spanish. The next 2, it's kind of 2 opportunities, a little bit combined, if you will. Church planning in the United States. We really feel that this time for our girls would be good to be in the United States for a while, for a time. If God has us to go somewhere else, then we will. One of those church planning opportunities, probably number 1, would be with our home church, Providence Mennonite, in Indiana, and church planning in Washington within a Spanish-speaking Hispanic Latino context there in the west end of Washington. Our mission organization from our conference, CMC, has contacted us. They said they would love to partner with Providence and possibly some of the other CMC churches there in Daviess County about this interest, which would be probably number 1 because we'd be close to families. Many of you know both of our moms are widows, and it would be nice for ourselves, the girls, to be close to them. A second one, which is also a wow opportunity, my cousin Howard Wagler is a pastor out in Kansas with South Central Mennonite Conference, and their conference is heavily involved with church planning and really are looking. I've been in contact with him quite a bit, spent some time with him at an exponential conference in Orlando, Florida, end of April, which is a church planning conference, and they're looking opportunities Brownsville, Texas, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, wanting to move into that Spanish-speaking dynamic or context. And so those are the 2 opportunities that we are looking at really closely, and we would ask for and just covet your prayers with us. Number 1, to finish well here. We still have a good 10 months here to finish well here, and also just what God has for the next stage and the next steps of our life.
Thank you, and we love you. We miss you all, and we can't wait to see you when we see you. God bless you.
God bless. Thanks.